समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Okay, so we start from verse 45 and we read this. अदृष्टपूर्वहृषितोऽस्मि दृष्ट्वा भयेन च प्रव्यथितं मनो मे तदेव मे दर्शय देवरूपं प्रसीद देवेश जगन्निवास. I am delighted, having seen what was never seen before, and yet my mind is distressed with fear. Show me that previous form only, O God. Have mercy, O God of gods, O abode of the universe. Now, see, Arjun is used to Krishna, divine roop. You know, Krishna, the beautiful, very, very charming boy. And Krishna is used to that. He has been seeing him like that from childhood, and even now he sees him like that. पर अभी क्या है? He has seen the Virat Roop. So he is saying over here that I am delighted having seen what was never seen before. But that Virat Roop is a very, very rare thing for anybody to see. So Arjun has seen that. But he says, and yet my mind is distressed with fear. So Arjun is very, very frightened with the Virat Roop. Virat Roop can be something which you cannot visualize really. It is a mind blowing concept of the entire creation, more than creation. So he says that my mind is distressed with fear. Show me that previous form only. So he wants, he doesn't want to see the Virat Roop anymore. He is afraid of it. And he wants that Krishna should revert back to his very, very simple, beautiful, charming form of the Lord. So he says, form only, O God, have mercy, O God of gods, O the abode of the universe. Abode of the universe means the entire universe rests in Him, houses in Him, resides in Him. So He alone is, the universe is in Him. So he says that is the abode. So Arjun has experienced infinite joy while seeing the Virat Roop. He says that he says, I am delighted, is the word he uses. Adrishta Purva Harshit. Harshit means very, very happy. But here what he says, that though he is so happy, but he is totally overwhelmed with fear, and he does not want anymore to see that. देखो, ये जो चीज है ये दो बार और वंस यशोदा हैज सीन इट, यशोदा मैया, वो जो उनके मुंह में उन्होंने मुंह खोला था ना, मिट्टी खाई थी कृष्ण जी ने, और यशोदा मैया ने जब मुंह खोला उनका तो मिट्टी निकालने, सो she saw the entire Virat Roop and she was petrified and horrified with it, and she immediately closed his mouth. So again the Bal Krishna. Now, another person who saw Virat was Kaushalya. Kaushalya Devi, when Ramji was born, he was when he was born, it was not a childbirth, जिसको हम लोग childbirth कहते हैं, it was not a childbirth. भय प्रगट कृपाला दीन दयाला, तो वो प्रगट हुए, he manifested. And manifested as what? He manifested almost like a Virat Roop. तो वो कौशल्या जी तो घबरा गई. And he said, कौशल्या जी बोली, माता पुण्य बोली सो मति डोली, मतलब मेरी तो मति डोल गई है, That means my mind is shaken. So mati doli tajahu tat yah rupa. It says कि please you, I don't want to see this form. Tajahu tat yah rupa कीजे शिशु लीला अति प्रियशीला यह सुख परम अनुपा. हाँ, तो वो she says कि please become a child. I had asked for a child, I had not asked for this virat रूप. तो it is a very terrifying रूप. ये जो विराट रूप है बहुत ही terrifying होता है. तो Arjun is saying over here that please take that form again. Now he has lived this very rare blissful realm of joy, but along with that joy it is a total mental shake up. His mind is just blown over, and he says that I do not want this. This is a see now Gurudev has interpreted this in another way, where he is trying to say that he's taken the concept of a meditator. When a meditator begins to meditate, a serious seeker, and he starts leaving body consciousness, and he starts to merge with the Lord. That is the ultimate. When that kind of thing starts happening, most of the seekers pull back. They cannot see that. They cannot see a disintegration of their personality or the complete loss of ego. You get a kind of a feeling that you're going to go mad, or you get a kind of feeling that you're going to disappear or disintegrate. So the seeker pulls back. And I had once asked Gurudev that why does this happen? So he said it happens because of body consciousness. You have to lessen body identification, then it will not happen. Then you will go into it, swim into it. But body identification is so strong with all of us that we cannot bear the thought that I will not be there anymore, that my individuality will finish, and it is on the verge of disappearing. So nobody wants to disintegrate, so you hold back, and the mind immediately pulls back from meditation, from that kind of intense meditation. So Gurudev used to, the advice that he gave us, he says that the right method is to lessen body identification. Unless and until you can disidentify from the body, जब वैराग तो जब तक वैराग्य नहीं होगा बॉडी से, तब तक you will not be able to merge into the supreme. And it is very frightening, because it can totally blow your mind, totally blow your ego, totally destroy your individuality. So he says anybody and everybody, when you are a seeker and you are into this, most of the times you pull back because you don't want to disintegrate. Now here, so that is Gurudev had said that the only remedy, the only way to do it is to lessen lessen attachment to the body. Come here now. What is the kind of form Arjun wants to see? किरीटिनं गदिनं चक्रहस्तिम् इच्छामि त्वां दृष्टुमहं तथैव तेनैव रूपेण चतुर्भुजेन सहस्रबाहो भव विश्वमूर्ते. Vishwamurte. He calls him Vishwamurte abhi. And what is he asking? चतुर्भुज. हाँ, चतुर्भुज बन जाइए. अभी आप क्या हैं? सहस्त्रबाहु. सहस्त्रबाहु means I can see you with 1,000 hands. ये सहस्त्रबाहु की मूर्ति जगह जगह बनती है. People try to create Virat Roop in temples. I have seen even in China. In China also they have this Sahasrabahu ka temple, and they have drawn all the 1,000 hands of the idol, and with different kinds of things in each hand. Now this roop, वो ये कहते हैं कि please God become a चतुर्भुज रूप. चतुर्भुज विष्णु का रूप. Vishnu roop is shown as having 4 arms. Now 1 minute, the very fact of 4 arms is also quite frightening. Have you ever seen anybody with 4 arms? So people of other religions who do not understand the concept or the symbol behind these forearms, they all laugh. The Hindus worship abnormal looking gods. They worship gods that are biologically monstrous. They worship gods with forearms. अच्छा, forearms कैसे? देखो, forearms कई gods और goddesses के दिखाते हैं हिंदुइज्म में. It is a symbol. You know, please understand that this kind of thing, ये जो है, ये it is a representative thing. It is a figurative. जिसको let us call it figurative. It's a figurative thing. Figurative means what? Just drawn for the purpose of understanding. अच्छा, like you say, 80 hands work under me. In English, you say that, na, you started a small startup and you say, instead of saying that I have employed 80 people to work for me, you say 80 hands work in my factory. Don't you say that? You also say, he is my right hand. He is my right hand man. You say, na, he is my right hand man. We need a thousand hands on deck. The ship captain says, we need 1,000 hands on deck. So hands means what? 1,000 workers. Here when you say that forearms, Gurudev used to joke that I don't mind four hands because in each hand he's got something or the other, so he can't catch you. Even if he runs towards you, he won't be able to catch you. But that was of course a joke. But here he says, see, this is a figurative representation of the powers of the Lord. Four powers are depicted mainly on Vishnu. What is he carrying? In one hand, he is carrying a conch, Shankh. Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma. ये विष्णु का रूप है ना. These four things he has: Shankh, Chakra, Gada और Padma. Okay. Now these four things, what do they represent? These four things represent. See, the Shankh is a divine caller. जब शंख नाद होता है, when you blow the conch, it is to call the general people to come and pray. Even temples use it. Hmm? It is a call for prayer. It is a call for coming to the life of divinity, to the life of spirituality. Gurudev said that if still the seeker does not come, or the man just wants to be in vulgar sensuality and wants to seek satisfaction there, then for him the Lord uses the gada, the mace, as a punishment. He lends out punishment to such people that they suffer sorrows. So when they suffer sorrows, then they turn to the Lord. A lot of people, once they get sorrow, they turn to the Lord. So Gurudev used to say they get kicked into spirituality. Okay. Now when they get kicked into spirituality, good for them. But sometimes even then they don't. They suffer sorrow, but they never think of the Lord and they do not come towards Him. For such seekers, then they get destroyed. So how do they get destroyed? By the chakra, the Sudarshan chakra, the discus. They get destroyed by that. Now, if they don't get destroyed by the and those people who listen, in the fourth hand, he's got a lotus. Okay. Now, so if they do not come to if they come to spirituality, listening to the conch, then they are rewarded with the lotus. Lotus is always a simple symbol of peace and of prosperity, of divine grace. Peace, prosperity, and divine grace that comes from rising above the situations in life. If you can learn to rise above the waters, just like the lotus does, see, lotus is born in water. Huh? So there is trouble all around you, grows in water, but he rises above the water. So, lotus means that spiritual person will get prosperity and peace who learns to rise above the troubled waters or the muddy waters of life. So here is this whole image of Vishnu that is shown over here. Hmm. Now he says over here, see, uh, you've understood the four hands, huh? Symbol of the four hands, and another interpretation of the four hands is that it is symbolic of the antahkaran, man, buddhi, chitta, and ahankar. These four things are represented by the four arms of Vishnu. That is also another concept, but to my mind, the what he's carrying in those four hands are the functions of the Lord, and that is probably more appropriate. And so ultimately, he gets the lotus. Now, uh, a lotus blooms in his heart. Gurudev used to say the lotus blooms in the heart of the seeker. Okay, now this is Arjuna's speech. Now, from here is the Lord speaking, and the Lord, see, the Vishnu form of the Lord is very reassuring, and reassuring and gives peace because it is a very beautiful form, very graceful form, and he is the one who, the moment you look at that form, peace descends on you. Okay, Sri Bhagavan मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूप sorry मया प्रसन्नेन तवार्जुनेदं रूपं परं दर्शितमात्मयोगात् तेजोमयं विश्वमनन्तमाद्यं यन्मे त्वदन्येन न दृष्टपूर्वं तेजोमयम. He is full of splendor, he is full of brilliance, he is full of light. Tejomaya. Hmm? Now, the thing is, graciously, the Lord is saying, graciously by me, O Arjun, this supreme form has been shown to you by my own yoga power. That means, by your efforts, you cannot see the Virat Roop. कोई ये सोचे कि मैं इतनी तपस्या कर लूंगा कि मैं विराट रूप देख लूं, यू कैन नॉट. तो विराट रूप you can only see by his grace. See, he gave that kind of vision to Arjun. He says, na, Divyam dadami te chakshu. That means I will give you a divine eye to see my Virat Roop. Everybody cannot see it. So here it is only this, that graciously by me, O Arjun, this supreme form has been shown to you by my own yoga power. That means it is my yoga, my power, my grace that has allowed you to, enabled you, allowed you to see this divine vision, full of splendor. And what is the vision like? Full of splendor, primeval, infinite, universal form of mind, which has never before been seen by any other than yourself. देखो, वो ये कह रहे हैं कि nobody has seen this form of mind. Krishna is saying. Now, in which way have they not seen the form? We have just discussed that यशोदा जी ने देखा, इसके पहले कौशल्या जी ने देखा, इतना तो हमको मालूम ही है. तो हाउ डज ही से दैट नोबडी हैज सीन दिस फॉर्म बिफोर यू? द थिंग इज, इन दिस सिचुएशन नोबडी हैज सीन. Arjun is standing at the battlefield. He is dejected, depressed, afraid. Arjun is emotionally a wreck, and he is into a mental state of dejection and depression and awe and fear. In this situation, standing at the battlefield, how can you, with that kind of state of mind, see a Virat Roop? So the Lord is saying that only through my grace have you seen this form. Come to the next verse. न वेदयज्ञाध्ययनैर्न दानैर्न न क्रियाभिर्न तपोभिरुग्रैः एवं रूप शक्यहं नृलोके दृष्टुं त्वदन्येन कुरु प्रवीर. He says, neither by the study of the Vedas and sacrifices, nor by rituals, nor by severe austerities can I be seen in this form. See, now when all these things are advised by the Vedas, all these disciplines, spiritual disciplines है ना ये देखो जो list कर रहे हैं, study of the Vedas, sacrifices, हाँ, जिसको कहते हैं जप तप, नॉर बाय रिचुअल्स, कोई भी यज्ञ हवन वगैरह करने से, और नॉर बाय सिवियर ऑस्टेरिटीज, नहीं तप करने से, कैन आई बी सीन इन दिस फॉर्म. So how can you be seen? He is Acharna by. If you cannot be seen by all this, then why do the Vedas advise all this? Isn't that the question any seeker is going to ask? Any student will intelligently put up this question, that why do the Vedas describe all these things, or rather not describe, but even prescribe all these things to seekers, if these do not help you to see the Lord? You cannot see through. What he's trying to say is you cannot see through self effort, but through these practices, when your mind gets purified enough, these are preparatory practices. So Krishna is not ridiculing these practices of the Vedas. He is not making fun of them. He is not deriding them. He is only saying that if you think that only by performing these you can see me, you cannot. So these will enable you. These will purify your mind. These will prepare your mind for my darshan. So these are primary preparations, he says. And the example that Gurudev has given is of cooking. Cooking cannot satisfy the hunger, eating can. But that does not mean cooking is useless. है ना? Cooking is a necessary part for satisfying your hunger, but it is a primary part. तो आपको पहले कुकिंग करनी पड़ेगी. जो if you say that cooking cannot satisfy hunger, you are right. That is what the Lord is trying to say over here. He is not making fun of the Vedic prescriptions. He is only saying that those alone cannot make you see the Virat Roop. Okay. Next verse. माते व्यथा मा च विमूढभावो दृष्ट्वा रूपं घोरमिन्द्रियं ममेदं व्यपेतभिप्रीतमना पुनस्त्वं तदेव मे रूपमिदं प्रपश्य. Be not afraid nor bewildered on seeing such a terrible form of mine as this. With thy fear dispelled and with gladdened heart, now behold again this form of mine. That means don't be afraid, don't get frightened, don't get petrified. And he says that this form is terrible. I do agree. Now I will show you my pleasant form. I will revert back to my very divine and beauteous form of Lord Vishnu, and then you can say. Now you see, this is a kind of a dramatic technique, a cinematic technique employed by films as well as plays on the stage. What is that technique? That technique is called reflected depiction. Reflected depiction. See, some stages have this rule, theaters have this rule that they cannot show murder on stage, or they cannot show death on the stage. Huh? They have a rule like that, unwritten rule hai. So how do they show it? They show the expression on the face of the actor who is on the stage. वो स्टेज पे खड़े होके दूर देखते हुए कहता, oh, so and so is being killed, oh, I can see this. So the focus of the audience is on the expressions and the acting of the person who is on the stage. Whereas what is he showing you? He is showing you the murder that is taking off stage. Okay. Now films also use this technique. Films में कैसे दिखाते हैं? They'll show you horror on the face of somebody, and that he is looking at something and feeling frightened. But what is he looking at? That they don't show you. ठीक है ना? So what are they showing you? They are showing you that frightening thing through the expression of the person on whom the camera is focused. So that is called reflected depiction. Now, this was happening to Arjun, but now what is happening is that he says that don't be afraid, don't be petrified. This is a, I know it is a terrible form of mine, but now I will show you, I will revert back again to my divine, beauteous, pleasant, and loving form, which is a very gentle form. So, Gurudev gives the example that the ocean can be terrible, but the shape of the wave is beautiful. The light reflecting on the wave is beautiful. You love to see the rise and fall of the gentle waves. But if you want to see the ocean and the power of the ocean itself, that can be quite terrifying. Okay, now then the scene shifts from the battlefield back to Dhritarashtra's palace, where the blind king is sitting, and Sanjay is again saying to him, you know, Sanjay is the commentator, so Sanjay is reporting to him whatever is happening. इत्यर्जुनं वासुदेवस्तथोक्त्वा स्वकं रूपं दर्शयामास भूयः आश्वासयामास च भीतमेनं भूत्वा पुनः सौम्य वपुर्महात्मा. He calls him a Mahatma over here. Sanjay is saying, having thus spoken to Arjun, Vasudev again showed his own form, and the great souled one, assuming his gentle form, consoled him who was terrified. Arjun was quite terrified. So here he is assuming his old form, the gentle form of Vishnu, and he has consoled Arjun, please don't be terrified. I am showing you my form of Vasudev. Now, see, Vasudev is what? He who abides everywhere. वास तो जानते हो ना, the word वास जो रहता है, रहने का word है. मैं यहाँ वास करता हूँ, right? So Vasudev is one who जिसका वास सब जगह है, the one who dwells in everything, the one who dwells in all places is called Vasudeva. So he takes on that form, and the Lord of the universe Krishna. And अब देखो एक बात सुनो, Sanjay by saying this is trying to tell Dhritarashtra, hinting to Dhritarashtra, to his king again as a smart secretary, that please stop the war. You have heard about the terrifying form of the Lord, and that Lord, in the form of a charioteer, is Arjun's charioteer. अगर वो अर्जुन के charioteer हैं, तो कौन जीतेगा? सोचिए तो सही. You have seen Kal himself. You have seen the terrified Kal Roop of the Lord. So if he is on Arjun's side, what will happen to the Kaurav army? वो सब काल के मुख में जाएंगे. They will all be swallowed up by death. So please stop the war. That is the unsaid message of Sanjay to his king Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra, please remember, is blind. Here he is also almost deaf to the unsaid advice, to the insinuated advice of Sanjay. अर्जुन उवाच दृष्टवेदं मानुषं रूपं तव सौम्यं जनार्दन इदानीमस्मि संवृत्तः सचेता प्रकृतिं गतः. The next one. सुदुर्दर्शमिदं रूपं दृष्टवानसि यन्मम देवा अप्यस्य रूपस्य नित्यं दर्शनकाङ्क्षिणः. Having seen this, thy gentle human form, O Janardana. Jan Ardana. Jan Ardan means one who gives peace to the mankind. Jan is mankind. Ardan is one who consoles mankind, who gives santvana to mankind. He is called Janardana. So, Having seen this, thy gentle form, O Janardana, hmm, now I am composed and am restored to my own nature. So, you see, Arjun is saying that I am feeling calm now. I am feeling peaceful now. Enough rag dvesh. Like you see, Gurudev used to say that when the camp gets over, all the mela that there was in the camp, you feel comfortable and you are back home and you feel comfortable in the filth again. So he used to say that this is a rarefied atmosphere of the camp where you are listening to my talks, but here you are disturbed because your mind is blown over. But when how do you feel comfortable? You feel comfortable when you go back to your own home and the comfort of all the other comfortable objects of your home. He used to call it the filth of your home. You are comfortable there, like a worm. So Arjun is comfortable. He's saying, "Oh Lord, I am now very comfortable seeing your original Krishna Roop, which I know." And Sri Bhagavanu Vacha, what is the Lord saying? The blessed Lord said, "Very hard indeed it is to see this form of mine which you have seen. Even the gods are ever longing to behold this form." See, इतनी सी बात कह रहे हैं वो कि you are very lucky, Arjun. Nobody sees this form. And what does he say? That even see this form you have seen, even gods are ever longing to behold my form. So even people who are god-like or devatas themselves cannot see this form of mine. It is not visible to people because you have to go totally beyond yourself. You have to merge with the Lord to see this form. So, objectively to view it, Arjun has been blessed with the Divya Chakshu to see this form. Na नाहं वेदैर्न तपसा न दानेन चेज्यया शक्य एवं विधो द्रष्टुं दृष्टवानसि मां यथा. It says, neither by the Vedas, nor by austerity, nor by gift, nor by sacrifice can I be seen in this form as you have seen me in your present mental condition. Hmm? So you see this Virat Rupa, or you can even call it Vishvarupa, cannot be seen by what? Neither by Vedas, Ved पढ़ने से नहीं देख सकते, neither by tapa. He is almost repeating the same thing that was said earlier. You know, that Krishna said this earlier also, that it only means in short that by your efforts, no matter what you do, no matter what disciplines you practice, what japa tapa you do, Vedas you read, tapa you practice, or by offering gifts to me, or by sacrificing to me, can you see this form in me? You cannot see this form in your present mental condition, is in brackets that Gurudev has written. That means the mental state of the seeker has to be way, way, way beyond his individual personality. It should shatter the individual personality, break free from the individual personality to reach a height of divinity itself. Only then can he see the true form of the Lord. So, by or doing all these things, you cannot, you are unable to behold me. That is what the Lord is saying. That I am an omnipotent, and nobody can, on their own, arbitrarily, by doing any one of these things, see this. So, then why was Arjun alone chosen? सोचने की बात है. Was Arjun's mind at this time that purified that he could see the Lord? No. The Lord is saying that it is only by my grace that I have revealed to you the form. ये ध्यान रखना इस बात का. Arjun on his own cannot see the form. His mind is too shattered to see the form. The Lord has given him that Divya Drishti, by which his mind has become so peaceful that with that conditioned mind alone he can see that form. The Gurudev writes here that here in the following stanza we get the scientific explanation of what compels the Lord to shower his special favor upon someone sometimes and not upon all at all times. So we asked na कि Arjun's mind was shattered, still the Lord showed him the form. So our minds are also all the time shattered. We are also into depression, we are into dejection, we are into sorrow. Why can't we see the form? So why the special treatment to Arjun? भक्त्या त्वनन्यया शक्य अहमेवं विधोऽर्जुन ज्ञातुं द्रष्टुं च तत्त्वेन प्रवेष्टुं च परन्तप. But by the single-minded devotion can I of this form be known and seen in reality, and also entered into, O Parantapa, the scorcher of foes. देखो, व्यभिचारिणी भक्ति से आप नहीं देख सकते. When your mind, व्यभिचारिणी भक्ति means when your mind is into so many different things, your mind cannot be composed enough to see me. He says, but what should the bhakti be? Single minded devotion. ये देखो, but by single minded devotion, you can underline it, that is the only thing. So we are devoted to so many things, है ना. कहाँ जाके गोलगप्पे खाने हैं, कहाँ डोसा खाना है, कहाँ कौन सा कपड़ा खरीदना है, कौन सा जेवर बनवाना है. So our mind is into so many different kinds of things. So that is not single minded devotion. We are devoted to food, we are devoted to clothes, we are devoted to worldly pleasures, we are devoted to bodily pampering. How can that be single pointed devotion? So there is no question of our seeing the Lord. Yeah, can you see this form? Form cannot be known and seen in reality, and also entered into. Neither can you merge with me with this kind of a mind. Now, so just one minute. So all these kind of tapasyas also will not help you to see me, he says. Acha. देखो, you have to be totally one with the Lord to see the Virat रूप of the Lord or to become one. जैसे राम और सीता एक थे बिल्कुल. हाँ, वो रामचरितमानस में लिखा है, कहियत भिन्न न भिन्न. कहने में भिन्न है लेकिन है नहीं भिन्न. कहियत भिन्न न भिन्न. So like the ocean and the wave, that is one another example that is given, ocean and the wave. हाँ, ऐसा भी वो कबीर दास का जो है, प्रेम गली अतिसा करी तामे दो न समाए. They cannot be two people in that very narrow lane of love. If you are in love, you are in total identification with the Supreme. So the Lord is saying over here that unless and until you are minused, it is only me, and me. That means you become me. You cannot have the darshan of me. It is only as much as that. Okay. Now, see, संजय ने भी देखा. तो संजय ने विराट रूप कैसे देखा भाई? देखो, संजय is a reporter. The Lord is giving him a reporting to do. The Lord, Sanjay is not seeing all that. Sanjay is being given a report by the Lord, sent a report. देखो, न्यूज रूम में जो रिपोर्ट पढ़ रहा होता है ना, the Prime Minister of the country has just visited Australia. In Australia, he has met the Prime Minister. Is that reporter seeing? That reporter is not seeing the Prime Minister meeting the Australian Prime Minister. He has got a written report in front of him which he is reading, which he is conveying to you. So Sanjay over here is just a reporter. It is different from the experiencer. There are two different words. Reporter is different, experiencer is different. So you, from the experiencer, Sanjay is the media. Sanjay is like the media, radio station reporting. तो भगवान ने उसको सिर्फ न्यूज भेजी है रिपोर्ट करने की. Though some people say that Sanjay saw, there are some commentators who say that Sanjay also witnessed, but Sanjay को दिव्य दृष्टि जब मिली ही नहीं थी तो वो देख कहाँ से रहा था. Okay, now then we do the last word. You have to become him to know the Lord. वो बहुत पुराना, सब ऋषि मुनि यही कहते हैं. All realized masters say the same, that to know the Lord or see the Lord, you have to become the Lord. Just like to understand that you were a dreamer, you have to become the waker. To meet the waker, can a sleeper meet the waker? Can a dreamer meet the waker? No. You have to become the waker to meet the waker, or to realize that I am the waker. Even to meet the waker. If you say, I was a dreamer and I want to meet the waker, you have to become the waker. It is like that. Now, the last verse of this chapter. Mat karma krin mat paramo mad bhakta sangha varjitah nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yah samameti pandava. He who does actions for me, who looks upon me as the supreme, who is devoted to me, who is free from attachment, who bears enmity towards none, he comes to me, O Pandava. Acha, here I have to tell everybody something very interesting. When Gurudev was doing this chapter with us, when ye wala verse aaya na, he closed the book. So we all wondered ke last verse to kara hi nahi hai Gurudev ne. And you know what he said? He said that it is no use doing this verse with you because none of you will ever do it. He said what is asked by the Lord in this verse, none of you will do it. And so what is the use of shaming the audience into doing it? Because if I read this verse to you and if I ask you to do this verse, what am I doing? I am only humiliating you because all of you understand that you can't do it. That is what Gurudev said. So obviously when he said it, we were all in at that stage of seekers where these things were almost impossible for us to do. So let us list these things. Okay, the Lord is closing the chapter with this, and he is saying that he who does these, all this and all this, he is the only one who can come to me. ठीक है ना? तो भगवान conditions लगा रहे हैं. What are the conditions? The conditions are these. Who does actions for me? Number one. This is number one. Huh? Who does actions for me? Who looks upon me as the supreme? We do not even look at Lord as the supreme. We just look upon him. ये हमारे मंदिर की मूर्ति, ये भगवान है. बस वहीं तक हमारा vision. Our vision is that small. Our vision does not go to his supreme status. Our mind is not that expanded to understand the Lord as he is. So for us, the Lord is the idol who is devoted to me. I have just explained this to you in the last verse, that devotion hamara, our devotion is for so many pleasurable objects in the world, that those objects which can serve the body, which can serve the ego, which can serve the perceiver, feeler, thinker in you. So we run after all those things. The intellectual man runs after intellectual ideas or academics or books or teachers. Hmm? The feeler runs after emotions and the perceiver runs after objects, isn't it? So, how can we be single pointedly devoted to him? One. Now, the person who is free from attachment, oh God, ये तो बहुत ही मुश्किल है. हाँ, free from attachment. A new dress that you bought, beautiful new dress. You wore it at a party. Everybody, oh, how beautiful this is. They don't say you are looking beautiful. They say, what a beautiful dress you are wearing. So you get more and more attached to the dress, that everyone is praising the dress. So you are attached to the dress. You go home, you give it for washing, and then the maid who irons that dress, she happens to use a very hot iron on that dress. The material of the dress could not stand that hot iron, and suddenly the dress gets burnt. Oh, ho, ho. Your anger at the maid is in direct proportion to the attachment you had for that dress, isn't it? If it was an old dress, something that you in any case wanted to throw away, and she burnt it, so your attachment is less, isn't it? And then she burns it, what do you say? हाँ, फेंक दो, कुछ नहीं हुआ. Doesn't matter, हो जाती है ऐसी चीजें. Leave it, throw it. But this dress, so your attachment was too much to it. So what happens to your mind? Tremendous anger. Oh God, Rudra Roop. So here dekho, you have to be free of attachment to everything. Not only objects, but even people, even relationships, and even to your own self. Attachment to your body, attachment to your comforts, attachment to your emotions, attachment to your desires. All these should be given up. How many of us can give up even one? Impossible. Just try. It's very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Okay. Now then, again, another very difficult thing is coming up. One who bears enmity towards none. Batao. You bear enmity towards none. Now, enmity can have many, many shades. You are indignant, right? You are insulted, somebody has been violent against you, okay, somebody has been unfair against you, okay. Now all these things create disturbances in your mind against that person. That is called enmity. Enmity doesn't mean that you have to take a weapon and kill him, not that. But when even just one enemy is enough to shatter your mind, to shatter the peace in your mind, to shatter the equanimity in your mind, just one enemy. फिर क्या होता है? When you are sitting in your meditation room trying to meditate on the Lord, whom are you actually meditating upon? Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, or some friend, or somebody who has been unfair to you, isn't it? Let's be honest. Any one person, any one thing is enough to shatter your meditation poise. It will not allow you to meditate. Therefore, he says that someone who bears enmity towards none. Don't hate anybody. Gurudev used to say, don't hate anybody. Pity them, sympathize with them. You do not have to dine with them if you do not want to, but don't hate, because hate pulls the mind with tremendous force. It pulls the mind with much more force than love does. ये ध्यान रखना. People think that attachment pulls the mind. No, hate pulls the mind much more than love pulls the mind. You are constantly thinking of those people. तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं? आप उन्हीं का ध्यान कर रहे हैं, उन्हीं का जप कर रहे हैं. Because you are constantly complaining about them. तो आप क्या कर रहे हैं? उनका जप, है ना? बार बार उनका नाम ले रहे हैं, बार बार उनका ध्यान कर रहे हैं, बार बार उनका नाम ले रहे हैं. तो जप और मेडिटेशन आपका किस पे हो रहा है? प्लीज थिंक, whom are you meditating upon? Whom are you chanting? Whose name are you chanting again and again? So pity them, sympathize with them, but do not hate them. So if your goal is the Lord and you are the Lord's devotee, be free from all attachments and be devoid of enmity towards anyone and everyone. Every day in your mind, forgive them, because when you forgive them before meditation, you are forgiving yourself. You are bringing peace into your own mind. You are bringing poise into your own mind. You are giving shanti to your own mind. You cannot change them. You cannot change their mindset. No matter how hard you try, you will not be able to do it. So, why are you trying to fight against something which you cannot change? The wiser thing is to drop it from your mind, and there should be acceptability of your situation. And if you deserve something, you will in any case get it. If you don't deserve it, no matter how hard you try, whatever you try, if your prarabdha is not to get that, you will not get it. So try, by all means try, but don't hate. Don't hate. Leave that hate out of your mind and leave the attachment out of your mind. Put in all your effort to get what is your right. But this is Gurudev's prescription, that calm your mind. Those people do not deserve, you do not deserve that they should whip you. You do not deserve to be whipped by them. You do not deserve that your peace should be disturbed by them. Why are you allowing them to disturb your peace? You are putting the key of your happiness in their pocket so that they can control you. They can control your mind. They can control the joy of your life. They can control the peace and tranquility of your mind. They can disturb you no end. You have given that power to them, isn't it? They may be sitting in some other town, but your mind is agitated here because you hate them, because you are agitated about them. Think about it. So it is your own doing. Drop the hatred from your mind. Show love no matter what they do. And even if you don't want to show love, even if there is indifference, do not hate. Pity them. Pity them. That look what they are doing. They are doing all kinds of unfair things. Sympathize with them, because karma will get back to them for sure. If they are doing unjust things, if they are doing wrong things to you, karma, they are inviting wrong karma to themselves. It will go nowhere. कर्म का फल तो आता ही है पलट के ना, जरूर आता है. If you pull an elastic and then leave it, the elastic will go and hit this hand which is holding the, clutching the elastic. When you pull the elastic, no how far you pull it and drop it, you will be hitting your own hand. That is karma phala. आपने इलास्टिक खींची, आप इलास्टिक को छोड़ रहे हैं, तो वो वहीं आके हिट करेगा जितनी दूर आप खींचोगे. So karma phal, nobody can stop. Their karma is with them, your karma is with you. So you do not need to hate anybody. You just pity them, sympathize with them, but don't hate, because by hating you are nothing else but आप अपना mind agitate कर रहे हो. So The Lord is only saying that come to me with a pure mind, with a clean mind, with a devoted mind. Allow yourself to meditate. By agitating your mind with the unfair deeds of others, you are not allowing yourself to come to me. Okay, so here we end. Om Tat Saditi Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishastu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vishwarupa Darshana Yogo Nam Eko Dashodhyayah. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.